doing it in Sanshin. It's important to make sure that you stay in the Sanshin, you use your tension, shimeru, tension in your buttocks, to push that. And to make sure, this is about shoulder height, this is hip height. We look with a partner, let's make sure we have the same stance. It's about grounding, yes? So I'm well placed, and now I sink. Okay. Now what I want to do is I don't want to think push. I want to think sinking into the ground, melting like a candle. So that when Peter starts to push, he feels that he's pushing a wall. I haven't started pushing yet, yeah? So it's not about force, it's about the triangulation of your body and being immovable. So, why would my experience triumph over Peter? Is my weight high? No. I weigh like 60 kilos. It's simply experience. People go, oh, this is something to do with, I don't know, trickery. No, it's technique. You know, it's called grounding, and it's an important part. You might say, well, what do I need this for? It makes a hell of a difference when you're very centered and strong. When you're unbalanced and weak, your techniques don't have a foundation. So we're trying to build a foundation. You might think, when will I use it? Well, maybe not exactly like that. But for instance, if you look at basic technique, he's punching to the head. Yeah. At every moment, I've got that grounding. And it gives me a nice solid foundation to push the techniques off with. You might think, Sanshin is a unique stance. It can be in any stance, frankly. It's just that this is triangulated so well. So when people push, because of the unique positioning, Sanshin allows you to sink, basically push his force down. So that when I'm working with Peter, when he's pushing against me, it actually helps me that Peter is taller. I kind of didn't tell you this, but as he's pushing and he keeps pushing. Push harder, harder. Yeah. He's actually pushing. As he pushes, he feels he's pushing into the ground, because that's actually what he's doing. I'm channeling it downwards. Okay. Only by having the right structure. My hands are not working yet. Yeah? So, what if we did this in Shiko? It's not quite as, but it's pretty much the same thing. It's again, the same, it's just easier to learn in Sanshin. Here's the rule. Grounding. Sanshin, the moment you go longer, that foot will have to straighten. And that foot will kick out more. If you try to make this, it starts to become very unbalanced. Can you see that? So Sanshin, like this, Wing Chun, outside edge. Sanshin, same sort of thing, more or less the same line. Starts to get longer, and you get what they call Seisan Dachi in some schools. The same principle. So some schools of Sanjan, Sanqin in southern China have a stance which looks more like this. And then you get all the way to stance from Xin, Santi. They're basically all then related. You start to see all the stances become variously kind of morph one into the other as you extend. If you look at a cat stance, it morphs from there into some kind of sanjan into a zenkutsu. Okay, and then simply by pivoting, and it depends on how you pivot. Okay, as opposed to there, you go into either kibarachi or shigorachi. Shigorachi is good for this, or that kind of force, but not particularly good for mobility. This is very good for sideways mobility, but not particularly good for resisting that with your feet out of position. Cat stance is good for keeping the weight off that leg. Now you can also do a pulling exercise where you pull. And this is great because you get to be like, you know, the dog when you grab the dog by the collar and it doesn't want to leave the park or whatever it is. And it pulls. And you sink back, you go, no, I'm not going anywhere. Okay. We can try that now. That's an exercise.